Hello, this is probably just going to be a brief video talking about adjusting expectations and how we look at ourselves as readers. So, way back in the early days of 2017, when I was starting this channel, I was obsessed with the idea of getting caught up. I thought at the time that I could spend one summer and, read all the classics and all of the bestsellers, and I would just know literature so well. I was very naive. The more that you dive into literature, the more you realize you can never read all of the books because there's hundreds of thousands. There are probably thousands of books published in the genre you like every single year. So the idea of reading them all is absurd, and there are so many classics. The more I find out about classics that I want to read, I'm like, oh, I want to read them all. And there is so many because it's like every book that was published before 25 years ago. So that's a lot of books. And I really love classics. I think they're still my favorite. And during this quest to read and to be caught up, I think sometimes I would lose function of the books and enjoyment and literature and be so obsessed with the idea of reading lots. And this is something we've talked about a lot on BookTube. And I've sometimes pushed back about it because I like reading a lot. The fact that I read 15 or 20 books a month was never an issue for me. I mostly read on audiobook and I enjoy that. I'm very dyslexic, and part of that was the reason is I read extensively slow. I counted myself reading this past year and I read about 20 pages an hour. So that's about 3 minutes per page. And sometimes a little faster, sometimes a little bit slower, but I take extensive notes and I enjoy that. And sometimes because I have ADHD and like to flip between things, I sometimes don't finish physical books for a very long time because I can't just power through because I'm even a slower reader then. And yeah, I can't just only, focus on one book for a month or two. So I do read audiobooks still, and I still really enjoy it. Some of my favorite books are written on audiobook and read that way, and I think that sometimes that allows you to enter in a story in a way that you can't because you hear the voices, you hear the sounds, even if it's just one narrator. Some of my books, I just enjoy listening to it. It's like music, it's good music, and I enjoy that. And I don't want to stop that. I don't want to stop reading either of them, but I do kind of want to give myself more peace. I think that I just passed over 1,000 subscribers, and yay, really excited. And it made me think about the fact that, when I first started, I was like, oh yeah, 1,000's easy. You see that all the time. And then I was like, oh no, this is hard. And I think it took me over a year to get 100 subscribers, and I made so many videos, and I'm not very good at following trends or even staying on brand. The fact that I like pretty much every genre is, not advantageous for this. And I think a long time ago, learned to be okay with the fact that this channel will never, generate a lot of buzz or anything like that. I originally started it because, I want to be an author. I'm an aspiring author, and I figured having connections in the book world would be advantageous. And I don't know how advantageous having a book channel will be, but I did find treasure alongside that. And, I'm still sitting here 6 years later with no published works and still very happy. And knowing that, whether it's my comic book videos where I just read through comics and no one ever reads those or watches them, or, my obscure classics and all of the things that I love, I really, really love this channel, and I'm so thankful. I guess this is turning into why I love this channel, but today I'm planning on doing a Downton Abbey video because I'm finishing Downton Abbey and I want to record what my feelings are about it, and to have that in the chest of the books that I read when, I go back and rewatch videos from 2020 or 2017 or 2018. I mostly don't from 2017 because they're too cringy. Um, I'm not saying that I'm the best person on camera now, but 6 years has improved me. 6 years have definitely done some things for better quality of being able to speak on a camera. I found my love of Frida Kahlo through here. I have her. My friend gave me several of these, throw pillows that I didn't know what to do with because, I don't have a ton of room in my room or things, and I want them to be pristine. But Frida Kahlo is something that I love through here. And I found a video in the art assignment. I knew that Ariel Bissett loved Frida Kahlo, and I started looking into her, and, this channel has coincided with the fact that I was diagnosed with chronic illness and disability and stuff like that, and this journey of finding myself from, finding my very sure-footed future that I was sure I was going to have, to finding that, I I'm always readjusting what I look like in the future and what my dreams look like and what capacity that I have to do everything. And I enjoy that. And the fact that Frida Kahlo began, her career with her first opening in bed because she couldn't stand because of pain. And I will always take encouragement from her and love her so much and love the analysis of her work. I still find it very ironic that my most popular video is about art, despite the fact that I know nothing about art. Yoko Ono, my girl. But yeah, I got distracted off the purpose of this book. But yes, I kind of wanted to go through how many books that I read each year because I feel like that shows some things. So in 2017, I read 56 books. I didn't start really reading until May. Like I read a few books before that, but I think I probably balanced between 10 and 25 books probably before book 2. Some years I probably read like 5, but no, I think that pretty much every year I probably read more than that. Maybe 2016 I might have read only like 7 or 8 because school and all of those things, but I've always loved books. And that was a year of discovering things. And then 2018, I did kind of have a mad dash. I don't remember a lot of the books and like what my feelings were from that year. And, even though that was 5 years ago, I sometimes remember more from 2017 because I read them slower. But I read 180-ish books. I know that I counted like some individual poems and stuff here. 2019, I read 205 books. I definitely have a better grasp at this. There was sometimes in like July where I read like 31 books, and that month I don't have as much clear things. But I do appreciate the fact that when I'm in chronic pain or when experiencing just things, I can just listen to them as if I'm listening to music. And, sometimes I'll go 2 weeks without reading a book, and sometimes I'll go one day and read 3 books. But I definitely did enjoy this year a lot. Yeah, 2020, I read 160 books, and this year is especially a favorite. I read some of my favorite books in 2020 and early 2021, which was just such a beautiful time. I read 248 books. A lot of these were short. I read a lot of picture books. I read a lot of poetry. I read a lot of comics. And I had so many favorites. I also read so many nonfiction this year. And January of 2021 is still one of my favorite months of reading. I just look at those books and I think about how much each of those books matters to me in my soul. Yeah, it was a really good year. This was also the year that I discovered podcasts, and I think that my reading has gone down slightly because of that. If I cast all the times that I listen to podcasts rather than audiobooks now, is probably why my numbers are slightly slower. But 2022, I have 126 books. And this was a push. I, put 122 because I only do about 120 because that was 10 books per month. I was averaging more than that. And I thought, it's 2022, so 22. Anyways, but I only read 126. So it was a challenge. This year, I have read 18 books in the first, 3 months of the year. And part of that is school related, part of that is stress related. It's been a hard year so far, but also 18 books. I read many months where I read more than 18 books a month. So I do enjoy them because I have so much to say and I don't feel pressured as much to say them because I often become overwhelmed with the pressure of wanting to talk about how much I love a book but feeling unable. And I'm trying to overcome that because I do want to really focus on the books that I'm saying and talk to myself as a friend and not have so much expectation of being analytical or having the right words or the right context for every single thing. This is going to be my first full year on BookTube where I might not reach 100 books. And I've seen so many people talk about this experience throughout BookTube. And because of the fact that I started BookTube older and, have a disability and stuff like that, I never really expected to fall there because I do really love books and I have a voracious desire to read and I have so many books I want to read. But, I have 40 books on my currently reading shelf. Yes, it's pathetic and terrible, but I don't know. I'll come back to them. And some of them are like books that are going to be my favorites, like Ducks or Sound of a Wild Snail Eating. Like, I love these books so much, and I know I'm going to love them. I'm just going to finish them one day. And yeah, I'm excited for what holds in the future and allowing myself to have more peace. So thank you for this milestone. Thank you for all of these thoughts. My bookshelves are fallen, my Frida is here, and yeah, thank you so much.